Alright, hadn't done any videos in over a month. I was putting some cabinets together today, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a video on how I do it. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. I'm just doing this on a cell phone, so I'm trying to talk loud. I've got the frames already painted. I've got my partitions and my ends dadoed into the frame. And I'm going to glue those in. Glue those in, and they just sit in the dados. Flush them up at the top. And I've got 1-inch 18 gauge nails. Just pop in behind the frame. I'm using all pre-finished plywood. There's a ton of ways to build cabinets. This is my little setup I've figured out. I used to build everything, build the whole cabinet and then spray it. But with the pre-finished plywood we've got now, to me it works out a lot better if you can spray the frame and put the box together afterwards. I don't know how good a speaker that cell phone's got on it. I hope y'all can hear. Alright, that's my frame, my ends. And I'm going to swap over the staples. I've got 1-inch 18 gauge 1/4-inch crown staples. Now this cabinet, this is a vanity, and she's getting a drawer below the sink, kind of swapping it around from normal. So I've got an extra bottom to add in. So I'm going to glue that in, glue my dados and glue this. Now I use one-sided 1/2-inch UV for my bottoms and my ends. So I've got one side that's not finished. I use that for the bottom. And I glue on a little piece of 5/8 by 5/8. Shoot that on there with 1-inch staples and it's glued. So it's locked in real good. That just goes in the dados. Pop the staples straight through the side. Pop it through that little piece of 5/8. And then we've got the main bottom. Do it the same way, glue the dados. got a packing blanket under here to protect the frame. You gotta be careful about the glue. You don't want to drip glue all over your blanket, because you gotta reuse it for the next cabinet. Anyway, dados are glued in. That's there. Slide that right in place. Gotta make sure it's tight to the frame. Now that, I didn't dado that into the bottom, I'm just shooting straight through it. I've got this in here, so that's holding everything where I need it to be. Alright, that's what I call my hanger rail. That's what I use to screw the cabinet to the wall. Now we're going to stand it up. Everything's pre-finished, so the glue on that pre-finish doesn't do anything really. But I do glue it where it goes to the face frame. These are cleats. And there's that one. Once these are in, these are just 1-inch staples here. So once these are stapled off, I'm going to add a couple of screws where you can't glue this thing. Like I say, I'm using 1/2-inch one side UV. So I'm using it over here. I've got a drawer stack, so the unfinished side will never be seen. But on this other side, I've got a door and a door here, so I got 3/4 double-sided there, so I'll have both sides finished. Like I say, I don't know if I'm talking loud enough for y'all to hear me or not. I hope so. But even if you can't hear it too good, you can see what's going on. Right now, this is what holds my cabinet to the wall. I'll make sure that this is screwed in. When I do tie it to the wall, I don't want my screws to pull the damn hanger rail out of it. Like I say, it's pre-finished. It's pre-finished, so that wood glue has very little bond to it. I've seen people use a melamine glue for it. I ain't never liked that stuff, and it's just another bottle of glue you have to buy, so I just add a couple of screws. I've always got those handy. Don't like to use a lot of screws building boxes. It's just more damn expensive. Those are in. Now we're going to put the back on. And I'm going to swap guns. We got this one set up with 3/4 staples. Gotta make sure everything is flush and flat at the top. If everything's cut right, it should all pretty much fall into place. I'm nailing on my backs. I generally go around the perimeter, I generally go about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches between staples. In my center, I don't try to get them that close. I got about 8 between those, it looks like. This is my toe kick here. This is not the finished toe kick. I add a toe kick skin on top of this. I use a piece of 3/4. I use that piece of 3/4 and I glue it to the bottom. Now normally I notch my finished ends. With this particular job, she wanted the side stiles to go to the floor. That's glued in, nailed in. So add a screw on each side. That toe kick, I've got my toe kick going all the way to the bottom of the cabinet, so that gives me some extra support. There we go. Other than putting the toe kick skin on, it's ready to put on the truck. Now, as far as finished ends go, this is going to be a finished end right here. I use a 3/4 finished end, so I've got this dadoed in 3/4 back, and you can see I've got a bevel on the back. I've got a bevel on my finished ends. My finished end goes out here, flushes out, and has a little V groove where it goes together. Works out real good for me. Like I say, there's 101 ways to build a cabinet. That's the way I do mine. Alright, maybe next video I can actually do a project.